There's one comment on the last video which was really good, but there's also some emails and some calls, which was really interesting as well. If you can put comments below, that would be a lot easier to answer them. So tonight's lesson is on a bit of a reflection really. So we've all heard of Thai boxing before, and we've heard of Lethwei, and we've heard of Kung Fu, and we've heard of Tai Chi. So one of the questions last week was about a headbutt, so we're going to cover that in this topic, and also hands in the mouth, which I didn't really mean, I meant more like fish hooking, which is something that I'll explain later on. So firstly, the style of Muay Thai or Thai boxing is considered the art of 8 limbs. Have you ever heard that before, Dan?
No.
So they call it the art of 8 limbs, and that refers to using 2 fists and 2 elbows and 2 knees and 2 feet. So that makes up this idea of 8 limbs. Obviously we've all got 4 limbs, but it's just for reference really. And then we have Lethwei, which is a Cambodian or something version, which is also related to Kung Fu. Tai Chi is really, Thai boxing is related to Kung Fu through the ancient Thai historical ties with China as well. So basically we're talking about all the same arts but of different names. Anyway, not to get off subject, Lethwei, sometimes they call it the art of 9 limbs. So that's 2 fists, 2 elbows, 2 knees and 2 feet and 1 head. So they're doing headbutts in the ring, pretty full on brutal sport. This isn't a good comparison of what style's better, but just on the point which I'm going to make next is what does Kung Fu have? So firstly, Kung Fu has what we call 10 hands. So that's something very basic. The first one being a parry sort of move. So if Dan was to hit towards me and I was to parry him, that's a Kung Fu parry. If he was to hit with the other arm and I was to block with a palm up, that could be the palm up or Tan Sao in Wing Chun. There's also this Wu Sao idea. If you hit backwards or something, you can bridge with this Wu Sao idea. And then there's this palm heel idea, which is like the 1-inch punch, but you're using the palm heel. And then we have the flesh grabbing, which is what led to me saying about fingers in the mouth in the other video. What I really meant, for example, was fish hooking, when you put your thumb inside of someone's mouth. Ever seen this done? And pulled them by the cheek so they can't bite you. I've actually done this in a real fight. I'd ended up being grappled to the ground and being bitten in the neck, and I fish hooked the guy. Nasty. The same as if you use a thumb in the eye or grab someone's ear or hair. That's all the flesh grab in Kung Fu. So parry, Tan Sao, Wu Sao, palm heel, flesh grab. And then we have Phoenix Eye, which is like karate's middle finger knuckle strike, but in Kung Fu we tend to use this top one. And we're aiming it at the nasty little points in the face, like the top of the lip and the eyeball and the teeth as well. And also on the bony bits, like the collarbone there. And and on the temple and that. And also for pressure pointing, you know, pressing these sorts of pressure points when grappling in closer. So that's one of these hands in Kung Fu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, leopard fist. If you're grabbing onto my wrist, for example, you've just got a really hard grip and I can't do any circles, you can use this racking motion. We call it a ginger fist or a leopard fist, and you can hit with this, just at some different angles. And then we have, what do we have next? You remember this drill? Hammer fist, yeah. So horizontal fist, so we can hit this way as well. So a lot of the time in Wing Chun we might hit this way, but we can also hit this way with this horizontal fist. And this hammer fist, you can use if you're hitting towards me. It can be blocks and stuff like that, or it can hits as well. and spiking elbow. So we have a little elbow set which covers the basic elbow techniques, but not the spiking one in the form. So we practice that. It could be that sort of on back idea, banging someone on top of the head, or when grappling, or I've used it personally in blocking. So a kick was coming into my side here, and this just sort of downwards elbow stuff on, in particular on the foot, when it's really useful defense. It would really cause some damage to a guy's foot. By the time you kick much higher, sort of being up here. Okay, so if you've ever experienced trying to kick someone without any shoes on, it can be precarious, so try to keep our feet down. Anyway, so we've covered the idea that Thai boxing is called the art of 8 limbs, and Lethwei is called the art of 9 limbs. Kung Fu has the art of 10 hands, which is that, or otherwise called iron palm. Some people called bridging hands, or you can count up to 18 of those sort of hand-arm techniques in Kung Fu. But what I wanted to talk about was Tai Chi, 10 hands of Kung Fu. So there's 10 hands of Tai Chi. Have you ever done that before, Dan? No. Yeah, good, it's good. This time. Yeah, so 8 limbs, that's unexplainable. 9 limbs, that's explainable. 10 different hand shapes, that's explainable. 10 hands of Tai Chi, what's that? And why is that relevant? Well, last week we done a headbutt, and the headbutt is in the 10 hands of Tai Chi idea. So in Tai Chi, the first idea is that we've got our hands, so that's one hand, and then the second idea is that we have our elbows, which is 2, and then we have our shoulders, so we can hit with the shoulder like this, hit with it, you know. Lately, Conor McGregor's been doing that sort of thing. It's common in Tai Chi, it's common in wrestling, shoulder barge, yeah, right? So that's our third one. Then we have the chest as well. How can you hit with the chest? Well, you can use this flex in the chest to hit with this part of the body. Okay, so that's 4. And the same with the back. The back's flexible, so we can hit with the back. If the partner's behind you like this, use your back flex. Sorry about that, mate. Hit with the chest, or hit with the back. Okay, seen that before, Dan?
Yeah, we have. We've talked about them.
Yeah, we've done a little bit. This is Fa Jing theory in Tai Chi. Usually in Chun Tai Chi, this idea of Tai Chi's 10 hands refers to not just the forms, but the pushing hands and the resting. So the next one is the tummy. Yeah? What can we hit with the tummy? Yes, we can in very close range, but we can also use it as a deflecting type of weapon, yeah, or strike. For example, if you're pushing into my tummy hard there, pushing as hard as you can, I can use this flex from the abdomen, pushing as much as you can, so I can yield like that, and use this, yeah, and this is used just like in boxing or something. If you was hitting me, if I stay there and I'm tense, I'm sure it's going to go through me, so I've either got to yield to it, or move into it, or move with it, this sort of thing. Okay? When we practice this sort of thing, if you're pushing on my tummy like that, pushing as hard as you can, pushing as much as you can, so you root that down, and then use this tummy. Okay? Good for pushing hands, in particular, people grabbing you, pushing you, and you're using these different parts of the body. Hip is our next one, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the hip. How can you hit with the hip? Just like you can in judo or any grappling art a lot of the time. So if we're nice and close here, if you're trying to push against me plan, so we got this sort of thing going here, I can hit with my hip like that. Yeah. So that's why we're always practicing these warm-ups, so you can hit with your hip, right? Next is knee. That's a bit more self-explanatory, isn't it? We all know that we can use a knee strike and also foot. Okay, so that is 1 hand, 2 elbow, 3 shoulder, 4 chest, 5 back, 6 belly, 7 hip, 8 knee, 9 foot. So what's left? 10, head. So yes, we do headbutt, and for different reasons. If we're in close grappling, I've got to keep my head down. For example, he could headbutt me. So it's not a choice of not wanting to headbutt someone. He could easily headbutt me now. And if I've not trained any of this head forward sort of motion, then you can easily get headbutted, right? And we know that's what people do in the UK, for example. It's quite common if it was some sort of bar scrap to get headbutted or kneed in the nuts. So having a defense and awareness about that is important. But you can also, in Tai Chi, use it to hit. So you wouldn't just limit yourself to hitting the head, you can hit the body as well, like that. And also use this motion. If you're grabbing at my neck here, you can use this head leverage motion. Yeah, and also if we're in very close grappling, just like with other wrestling, you're pushing against my head. This is all part of what's going to be happening. So you've got to have this use of your head as another hand, right? So hope that explains everything to you, and any comments, please leave them below. Really good fun answering them. Have you got any questions now?
No, to be fair. Yeah, just back to an application.
yeah, we'll do some more of that now, won't we? So
Yeah.
catch up with you next time. Thank you.
Lovely.